Okay, so today we're looking at project number 26. I know you can see that I've already got a video guide, but I always try to improve these a little bit here and there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open project number 26. Great, you can see that I've already given you a lot of the typing for this one. And so let's go ahead and get started on the assignment. Let's see here. We're already to step 4. It says insert a header. Now, there are two ways to put in a header. What I tell students to do, and the obvious way that's really easy to say, is click on insert, just come over here to header footer, click on header. The thing I normally do is you can see I've moved my cursor right to the top of the page. I'm going to double click, and that opened the header right there for me. Okay, now I'm going to scroll down to page number 118 to look and see what they wanted in the header. They want my name. Now I'm just going to press the tab key a bunch of times until I'm basically under the 5. If you don't have the rulers turned on, you should. And to turn on the rulers, just going to come over here to view and show ruler and make sure there's a check mark next to that. Okay, so now we're just putting class period, colon, and whatever, I don't know, 5B. Doesn't matter. Okay, now normally, I tell you that everything is to be in Times New Roman except when you're told otherwise, but it just happens that this particular lesson on step 5 is telling us to use Arial number 11. Okay, so that's why I'm still in Arial number 11 here. Later on, I'll make a very short video on how to change it so that it always goes to Times New Roman 12-point font for you. But like I say, today, that's not what we're doing. Okay, so now I clicked there, and now we're on step number 5, and we're just going to type in what it shows here, risk strategy, and they have that all in caps. So, oops, caps. One of those words I always got to look at to spell. And obviously, I spelled that wrong. Strategy. There. Okay, now they want it in bold, so I just click on it 3 times to select that whole row and bold. Click here, turn bold off, enter. Okay, and of course, I'm going to hit enter once more. Oops, should have left bold on. Caps, read the following. Caps. Actually, I'm going to purposely do that wrong for a minute, okay, just to let you know, because I want caps. Okay, there's been my common typo here. Okay. The reason I did this wrong is I just wanted to make sure that you guys see what to do if, oh no, I did it. Or sometimes more commonly, you're working along and you realize you're in all caps. But this time we're just going the opposite direction. I'm going to click on format, come over here to text, capitalization, and this one here was all uppercase. Like I said, normally you want the mistake is in the opposite direction, but hopefully you saw how to fix that right there. And turn bold off and enter. And now, of course, I'm going to save us a little bit of typing here. Individuals employee. I do find it works better to select stuff to go from the right to the left, the opposite of the direction we read, Control C. It seems to put in less wrong characters, Control V. Good. And let's come down here again, caps lock back on. Did I fat finger something? Yes, I did. I sort of felt the side of my finger hitting something. Okay, instructions. And that ends in a colon, of course. I'm going to go ahead and double click on that and bold. Okay, turn bold. Now, the only thing is, I mentioned this here. We're just going to take this real quick and turn that into Arial and 11 because that's what the book called for. I think Arial's kind of an ugly font, but that's okay. Okay, and I'm going to turn Times New Roman back off. And okay, so the next thing we're going to do is insert a numbered list. In the past, we used the bulleted list button a lot. This time we're using the numbered list button. There we go. And identify the strategy used in each of the scenarios. Okay, making sure caps lock is off this time. Okay. Good. Scenarios giving me the hint because yeah. And the scenarios we're looking at are avoid, reduce, accept, or transfer. And hopefully you read about these in the first couple of paragraphs in this unit. If you haven't, I'm just going to go through these really fast. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. Avoiding is simply avoiding the risk altogether. Doing something so that it won't happen. Like they mention here, if you're afraid of having your car stolen, you should avoid parking in high risk areas. Kind of obvious. Reduce. Doing things to reduce the likelihood of harm occurring. They mention things like, putting stuff in your locker and actually remembering to lock your locker. I know once you're at school, you really can't forget. Driving the speed limit stuff, except simply taking on responsibility, understanding, yeah, it might happen, and I may have to pay for all of it or transfer. And that's a lot of what we're looking at here when we talk about transferring. We're talking about transferring the risk to somebody else, having somebody else carry part of the risk. And we'll get to that in a few minutes. Okay, so now I'm scrolling down again to page number 118. Briefly describe why you have identified that strategy. Okay. Can't believe I'm doing this bad today. Okay, enter. Now, it's got that 3, but I don't actually want that 3 right now. So I'm just going to hit enter again. Okay, then I do want to put in one blank line, so I hit enter a third time. So that's how we break out of those numbered lists. We just hit enter a few times. Okay, the next thing they want us to do is put in a 3 by, need to look at the book here, a 3 by 8, so 3 column, 8 row table. So now I'm going to come over here to insert, come down here, and somewhere I'll find table. Oh, it's up here at the top. Okay, insert table, 3 by 8. So I got 3 by 8. Just going to click right there. Great. Now, the next thing we're going to do is set the first column to 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to click here in that first column. Come over here. If you can't find it, it might be under these 3 dots, but what you're looking for is the thing that says table options. Yeah, a moment ago, you even saw it over here on mine. Something I don't particularly like about Google, stuff gets moved around, but oh well. I'm going to click on table options. Now we're in table properties, which indicates they actually changed the name of the function a while back. Okay, so now I'm going to click on column and column width. We want to adjust the column width to 3.5 inches. For those of you wondering where I'm at, I'm on step 7, 3.5. Good. Okay, next I'm going to click in the second column, and they want that one set to 1 inch. Good. And now I'm going to click in the third column, and they want that one set to 2 inches. Great. So 2. Good. Okay, now I can go ahead and close this tool right here. Perfect. Okay, key in the text as shown using Arial 10 this time. Okay, be sure to bold the text as shown. Great. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to this one right here. They want it in 10 and SCENARIO. SCENARIO. Good. Tab over. Strategy. STRATEGY. I'm pressing the tab key to move over quickly, so I'm not stopping to reach for the mouse. BESCRIPTION. And I still got it. There we go. Good. Oops, backspace. Actually, now I did actually use the mouse. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and make these here bold. Okay, because they are bold in the book. Right? That's odd. I'm going to go ahead and reselect 10 because something looked odd on one of these. Okay, good. And again, 10. So scenario 1, SCENARIO. SCENARIO 1. Good. Now, to show you how lazy I am, the first thing I'm going to do is, of course, format this to bold. Good. Control C. Control V. Backspace 2. Control V. Backspace 3. Oops, that was a 2. Control V. Backspace 4. Control V. Backspace 5. I'm sure if there are 7. Yeah, there are 7. Control V. Backspace 6. Control V, backspace 7. Good. Okay, so save myself a little bit of typing there. Now we're going to go and put in the text here. That won't take us long, so we're going to come over here. Worried about theft on campus? Maggie did not buy a laptop or printer to bring to campus. She argued that she could use the campus computer instead. Control C. Back over here. Enter. Let's make sure we turn bold off and Control V. Let's take a moment and format this one correctly, okay? So they wanted this in Arial and 10-point font. Great. Okay, you probably know from me that that's the last time we'll actually do that. William is 65 years old and eligible for Medicare, but he feels he needs an additional medical bill coverage. He purchased additional coverage through United Health. Control C here and Control V. Good. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click anywhere in here. It doesn't matter where, as long as I'm over this stuff here. I'm going to click on the roller here. Just drag that over the stuff I just brought in. Okay, good. Enter. And let's see the next one. Jeffrey does not want to pay for extended protection on his new tablet. So he follows all of the maintenance suggestions and never leaves it in his locker and keeps it in a protective case. Okay, Control C. Back over here and Control V. Okay, next one. Yeah, I'm just going to do the format painting in a few minutes and do several more. Daryl has full automobile coverage on his new Honda Accord. Control C. Control V. In contrast, Taylor's car is 10 years old and was paid off long ago. She does not carry full replacement value coverage in the event of a collision. Control C. Control V. Oh, two more. Amos. What does Amos do? Amos lives in a city where it's expensive to own and store a car, not to mention break ins and thefts are high. He plans to use public transportation instead. Control C. Control V. And the last one here is Pow. Powell installed a monitoring device in his car provided by his auto insurance company. Doing so will reduce his insurance premium cost by 20%. Control C, Control V. Now you guys know what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to click on this one. I'm going to select Format Painter. And the reason I call it Format Painter instead of what it says here, Paint Format, is because, to be honest, I, of course, learned in Microsoft tools, and Microsoft calls it the Format Painter instead of the Paint Format. Good. So you guys probably see what I'm doing here. Great. And one more. Oops. Come up here. Come on. One more. Okay, great. Now here I want to show you another kind of neat labor-saving device. You've undoubtedly used them a lot. You know, drop menus, like when you're on a web form and stuff, the menus drop down. We're gonna put those drop menus here in this. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're gonna insert, and I'm gonna come down here to drop down. Okay, new drop down. And I'm just gonna give it a quick name. I'm just gonna name it Project 26. It really doesn't matter what we call it. Okay, and our options here are, let's come over here, avoid. Now we could type a whole lot more here, and that's of course where the drop list would really save us a lot of trouble. Reduce, uh, accept, or transfer. I am going to now scroll up a little bit here so we can put a little bit more here. Avoid the risk altogether. I'm just going with what's in the book. Altogether, is that actually spelled right? Let me look. Altogeta. I spelled something right. Yay. Reduce. Where am I here? Reduce the risk. That's easy. Accept. By the way, if you simply have avoid, reduce, accept, and transfer, I'm going to call that fine. Okay, just so you are aware. Accept the risk and pay for losses yourself. Okay, and transfer the risk to an insurance company. Hopefully you skipped past that part. Okay, good. Now I'm going to click on save. Good. Oh, and it okay. So we've got that there. So now we've got a little drop down here and we can choose the one that we want. Okay. So now we're going to click in this cell here. No, we're not going to do all of that again. We're going to click on insert, drop down, and this time we're just going to choose project 26. Insert, drop down, project 26. We're going to do this on all of these. Then we'll go through and actually try to figure out what we should be putting in. Insert, drop down, project 26. 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 Great. So now we've got all of these. Okay. Now this first one here actually is. She didn't bring her, she just decided not to bring her computer and that she'd use the campus labs instead. So it is avoidance. It's avoidance because she chose not to bring her own computer. But that was easy enough. Except of course, remember the font. So I'm just gonna click over here and do that real fast, okay? Good. Okay, this next one. William is 76 years old and eligible for Medicare, but he feels that he needs additional medical coverage. So he purchases an additional coverage through United Health. And when we look over here, we see where it says transfer the risk to an insurance company. And so that's what he's chosen to do right here. Okay. And he purchased additional insurance. Okay. Remember to answer in complete sentences, okay? You can use pronouns. I'm not that bothered by using the pronouns here because, oops, because we kind of know what those relate to. Oh, the oops was, you may have noticed I accidentally drug it over this, so now you see the font there is a little bit different than there. Again, if I just want to undo that, I can do that. Click over here and drag it over. Okay, so what I want you to do is answer for yourself these. Okay, as an example. So at this point, I'm going to stop typing, okay, guys? But I don't want to see a void in all of these. I want to see the right answer. Jeffrey does not want to pay for extended protection on his new tablet, so he follows all the maintenance suggestions, never leaves it in his locker, and keeps its case. That's not avoiding the risk because he has his new tablet. Okay. Um, he kind of accepting is close, but it's not quite what we're looking for here because there's a better answer. In transferring the risk, right here it said he did not want to pay for it. Okay, so we know it's not transferring. Yeah, he's reducing his risk. He's reducing his risk by not leaving it in his locker, keeping it in the protective case, following the instructions. So over here, we probably want reduce. And then over here, something along the lines of he didn't buy the extra protection, so he's taking extra care. Okay, good. Daryl has full coverage on his new Honda Accord. Okay, so that one there, you're looking for the one where where am I looking here? Where you basically the insurance company has agreed to pay in case of a loss. So you know which one you're going to use there. Taylor's car, though, she decided not to have full coverage. So if something happened, she would have to pay for any losses by herself. And of course, if you look in page 116, you'll see the very words I just used. Okay. Don't forget to explain why that's true over here. Amos lives in a city where it's expensive to own or store a car, not to mention car break ins and thefts are high. He plans to use public transportation instead. Smart guy. And so, what kind of risk? What is he doing with his risk? Okay. So, and let's go to our last one here. Powell installed a monitoring device in his car provided by the insurance company. Doing so will reduce his insurance premium by 20%. And so there's two things you could say here, but I want to go look at this one a bit closer. Yes, he does have insurance, but he's doing something even though he has insurance, still even more to reduce that risk. Okay. And then you're going to write some stuff in here. And that was basically the entire assignment. Have a great afternoon.